we also have a video here. So this is a product called Agentic, and basically Agentic is basically these AI agents that actually play games. They can actually play, like,
What?
let's say if you're a game developer, you need tests.
Oh, okay.
You need to maybe check if it scales, if your product scales, if the game scales.
Sure.
Like you can have, you might have many reasons, but basically this AI just play games all day long.
That's
And the video
funny.
is really cool.
Hi, my name is Dimitri Benici, and I'm a content creator, agency owner, and AI enthusiast. You're listening to the AI Agents Podcast, brought to you by Jotform, and featuring our very own CEO and founder, Ida Tank. This is the show where artificial intelligence meets innovation, productivity, and the tools shaping the future of work. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the AI Agents Podcast. In this episode, Ida and I are going to be talking about vertical AI agents, a term that some of you may not know now, but I have a feeling is going to become very mainstream really soon. How you doing, Ida?
Yeah, I'm doing great. We have been working on our own AI agents, and like this week we added two really important things: buying your own phone numbers, so that you can
Yep.
actually have these conversations, like give out to your customers for service. And
Mm-hmm.
also we added like WhatsApp support, so you can actually provide customer service over WhatsApp. So
Yeah.
just we are really excited. It's getting close to the launch. It's going to be in February, so we just keep improving things, adding things. So in terms of the AI agents, just from AI agents, it's really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And today's topic is also really exciting. Maybe I should start. Maybe we should just start with the definition of
Yeah,
vertical
I think that'd be
AI
good.
agent. I think that definition comes from. I think the term actually comes from the software that actually had like two types of software, right? So horizontal software and vertical software. And when you say horizontal software, it actually means like software that everybody uses, right?
Yes.
Like email, spreadsheets, Word. These are examples to software everyone uses, and every industry actually uses them. This also includes Jotform, like forms. Like we see forms in every kind of industry, so it's very common. So we cannot just like say, okay, this is we will just focus on this industry because like everybody uses them. This kind of makes it hard for us to, but also makes our job sometimes easier to be able to have diverse, set of templates, things like that. But the opposite of these horizontal software is the vertical software, which is the software that is actually limited to one industry. And sometimes it's not just one industry. Sometimes it's just like specific like department in the industry, for example, like HR. So you could,
Yeah.
so I will say you are building vertical software if you are building software for healthcare or education or like HR. So these are like kind of examples to vertical software.
Uh-huh.
So the vertical AI agents, this term actually became popular because of this this episode. Y Combinator YouTube channel actually has this episode about vertical AI agents, and that they actually probably created this term. I don't know if I never heard of this term before,
Before,
but it
yeah.
was really exciting. The episode is really great. So if we are able to include it somewhere up there, like right side, left side, somewhere to link to that episode,
Yep.
I think that would be great. But they were talking about how the vertical AI agents are going to be successful, and I believe that's really the case because it's actually like allows the AI to kind of provide a solution to specific industry, and
Yes.
that could be big. And so I want to actually talk a little bit about like the history of software.
Sure.
Let me share my screen. So in the early, like very old ages, that like I would actually go to like CompUSA or like Best Buy, and I would actually buy this software with in a box, right? It's hard to imagine, but that
Well, I
really happened.
remember.
Okay, and then I would actually take it to home, and I would open it, and there would be like a floppy disk or like a CD-ROM,
Oh yeah.
and I would just put it on my computer and I would use it. That's the old ages of software where you would actually. I mean, you could also like after the internet, right? You could also like buy the software on the internet and download it as well, but you would still run it on your computer, right? There are still like out of software that you run on your computer, but most
Yeah.
people they will just install browser. Most of the time, the browser actually comes with the operating system, and then they will just run all their software today on their browser. So that was the previous times, and you would just buy the software. Then came like the SaaS and the like or the software on the cloud. You basically you actually run the software on the cloud. You don't install something. You just go to a website. As you can see, like I'm just using Google Sheets here, and I'm not like I didn't install Google Sheets on my computer. I'm actually directly accessing Google Sheets from my browser and using the software from there. And so the SaaS software as a service became really, really successful because it just made it so much easier to install software because you didn't have to install it anymore. You could just run it. You could just use software by just going to a website and just by signing up for the software. And our product Jotform is similarly like the products that I built before Jotform. They were all
Hmm.
kind of like a software that you downloaded, and they I couldn't sell them. Like it was really hard. Like I had to sell each one of them. But with SaaS, since you're providing a service, since it includes like for example, why do you need servers? Because like when you need to send an email, right? We are actually doing that service as well. Like sending an email and not going to a spam
Yeah.
folder is actually not an easy task. Like we have people dedicated to that at Jotform, and we are sending like millions of emails every day, and they make sure that we have high deliverability because it's very important. People run their businesses using Jotform, and if they miss an email, they sometimes lose money. So it's very important that we take care of that, and that's why SaaS is so successful, because issues like that are handled, and the software as a service means your software is constantly improved, constantly like updated, and you're always getting the latest and the greatest version, and the bugs are fixed constantly, and new features are
Yep.
added. So it worked because it's a win-win for both consumer and the software developers. But I want to talk about a little bit about like outside software. There are also agencies, and you go to an agency, right? You tell them that you need something, and then the actual labor, they have employees, or maybe they are just one person agency, but they do
Hmm.
something for you, and you're basically hiring labor
Yes.
uh, instead of hiring someone full time, you're hiring their labor. And it's just from like we work with a lot of agencies, including yours, like Rise
Yeah. Yeah.
Productive. Like
Hmm.
you do a lot of videos for us,
Hmm.
right? So it's a great way to kind of get help from outside when you cannot do things yourself. Like there are specialized people who do things. So in my opinion, vertical AI agents is so powerful because it combines all these things. Software, it's like basically there's already the software. Basically, whoever is building the AI agent is already including the software with it. It's running on servers. So Jotform AI agents, for example, providing customer service means that we are actually like providing this our servers are actually handling all those requests, and so we have the software, we have the service, but vertical AI just has something much more powerful, which is the labor.
Yeah.
It's not a real human labor, but it's digital labor. You have these LLMs. that can actually have conversations, that can understand people, that can
Yeah.
respond to people. That's huge because this wasn't possible before. You had to actually have a real human being be able to do that. But right now, you can actually use you can use LLMs for conversations. You can also use LLMs to kind of make reasoning, make decisions, like understand what needs to be done. So the software is actually becoming much more flexible. So if you think about it, maybe this is not going to be called vertical AI agents. Maybe it's still going to be
Yeah.
called SaaS, but it's going to be different. It's not going to be the same. So I think this is going to be really exciting. The vertical AI agents means that there is going to be these AI solutions specific to your industry, specific to whatever you are doing, like your niche, that actually has all the knowledge, that has the software piece, that has the knowledge piece, and that has the kind of like this digital labor piece where it can actually handle things for you. So instead of like you doing things manually, like in the old times before software, like you did everything manually.
Yeah.
But when the software came, and this was very similar with shrink wrap software or SaaS, you still had to do things, but you got help from software. But today, you can just say, okay, hey, vertical AI agent, do this thing for me, and you become this manager, and then the software and the AI agent, the digital labor, work together to actually do things for you, and you just manage them, and you just tell them what needs to be done, and you work with them, and you provide feedback. And basically, this means that you can actually scale. You can accomplish much more than
Hmm.
before. So I feel like this is going to be a very interesting. Like the next decade is going to be so exciting, and I'm really excited to be part of this new revolution going on. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm very excited with it because I think a lot of the we were listening. There's an interesting conversation about this. You talked about Y Combinator made a or like seems to have coined the term, but some interesting thoughts from conversation around this is that these vertical AI agents will be like pretty specific to start. For example, I think there was a one that somebody proposed, which was a dentistry. Like there's manual data entry for a receptionist or something to that effect at like a dentistry, right? And this is like the most common, like small example of what these things can do. You mentioned and showed very well the fact that like you have those three layers. It's the labor, the software, and then what was the first one on the left? It was the
Shrink wrap software.
shrink wrap software. Yes.
Yeah.
That was classic. I remember having to install with CD, like floppy disks or CD-ROMs on computers when I was very young. That was funny. But now the fact that it can do the labor for you on the software, it's very interesting. If you think about it, there's a lot of manual data entry that a lot of people are doing. So while we talk about vertical oftentimes in the terminology of like industry, what do you think about the fact that even in like a more micro sense at companies, what'll probably happen first is these AI agents automate like specific tasks, so to say, because that's what the example they gave that I thought was really good. Like at a dentist office, they could simply automate all this manual data entry that a receptionist would be doing.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about the agencies. They're actually building these AI tools, right? They are
Yeah.
building these custom AI tools. I think that's great because, but the reason they're actually doing that is because there is no software, or the software, as we have seen over the weeks, like previous weeks that I was trying to do the demo, they actually didn't work well. And because of that, people are actually like hiring people to do custom software, custom AI agents for them. But I feel like that's not going to be always. That's not going to be always like that. What's going to happen is that like there's going to be software that's going to come out with vertical edges that are going to be come out, and they are going to handle many of the tasks. So the agencies are going to be actually still building solutions probably, but they're going to
Yeah,
be kind of joining those different pieces together, just providing. So I mean, even like regular software, like many people actually don't know how to use software, and they will hire agencies. Like most small businesses, they will actually hire agencies to do their email marketing, for example. I think it's going to be the
yes,
same with AI agents. There's still going to be a lot of work for agencies, but not like today. Today is like, even the basic stuff is not available because the products are not there yet. But in,
sure.
in a couple of years, I think there's going to be like really good established products that can handle all those things. So it's going to be. I think that's like that. It's going to change how they do stuff.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you said you had some examples that you actually wanted to show the audience here on some of the different
Yeah,
agents you have. Yeah,
I do have some examples. Let me share my screen. So I've been looking for like examples to vertical AI agents, and the first one is the Casetext, which actually was bought by Thomson Reuters, and it was renamed to CoCounsel. But the Y Combinator video is also talking about this example, and that was probably like the first really good example. And I also watched the episode about this, their founders episode with on the Y
uh-huh.
Combinator, the YouTube channel, and he was talking about how they even actually work together with ChatGPT, OpenAI, to kind of make it like this example, one of the
Sure.
examples of ChatGPT or OpenAI solutions. So what this does is like it actually has all the knowledge, and they've been doing this for a long time. All the cases, the law cases, and lawsuits and everything, and you could actually search in them. And this is actually a big thing for lawyers because lawyers has to spend a lot of time try to figure out try to like find all examples for their cases. And it turns out the co-console, they renamed it, and they actually do much more today. But I think that's still a great example. So I'm gonna show the video now.
Hmm.
I think this is a great example. Like this actually shows what does recent case law say about limits of a breakup fee, and it's actually doing a research. The AI agent is doing a research and providing.
CoCounsel. It's a good name.
Yeah, yeah, um, definitely. What do you think about it?
I think it's interesting. I think there's I don't know, there's a lot of different applications that or not applications. I don't know if that's the right term, but there's a lot of different things you can glean from something like that. Like that was a very obvious example of a vertical AI, right? Like having a co-counsel. First of all, I do think the name's pretty good from a marketing standpoint, and that that would be yeah. Actually, I'm just sorry. I'm actually caught up on that. Whoever like wrote the name for this actually really nailed it because it's accentuating the fact that this is truly going to be a counsel that is going to be able to help you through your legal activity in not only just like concept, but also action. And that's kind of what I think the key thing to note here about vertical AI agents is, right? Like I work in the content industry, right? If I was able to have a vertical AI agent for, ideation and execution of not only ideation, but turning them into like reasonable proposals for scripts and outlines and that kind of stuff for clients. That's something I'm really like looking forward to. Like, it's a specific thing, and that would be like your I don't want to call it your content agent, but CoCounsel is just I think the naming's great. I think it really accentuates what the things you need to do, and they do a good job of explaining it, like on their website too. I'm sorry, I'm just scrolling on their website here. I think if you go here and take a look at it, like, it's so interesting to me, Adikin. This is basically a step up for me conceptually from normal SaaS to, they're framing it almost like you're doing things with it, right? Like, let me like kind of state what I mean here. Like, as you've worked with SaaS for a long time, your product's about forms and how forms can help you out. But for this is like explicitly making action statements through all of this. Like, it can review documents, it can prepare for a deposition. All of these things are things that a person would do, in a way. And it's just showcasing how, I don't know, it's just showcasing you how much time you can save, because you're going to almost have another quote person that can help you out. When we were talking in a recent episode with the Text Cortex folks, it was funny that they were saying that agent in German is such like a charged term, and like it was like, oh, I don't know, when I use I think it's agenta, and because of previous history. But this is taking anyone out of that type of thinking, just thinking, oh, it's my co-counsel, like it's someone that can work with me on my different legal stuff. And actually, my girlfriend is finishing her law degree, and I'm actually familiar with the law space because she works as a paralegal right now. And it's just like, I'm seeing all these things, hearing what she does, and I'm like, yeah, this would be very useful. And I know some other lawyers too. So this is just, I don't know. It gives me a vision for how this can be for more different types of industries, right? Like, they explained
if you think about it, this actually makes like lawyers very productive, because
Oh
it's kind
God,
of like
yeah.
they have all these like assistants running around, constantly doing things for them, and they don't have to worry about. I mean, maybe they are going to be able to. They are going to charge less because they charge by the hour. Maybe it's that's a blocker for the adoption of this tool, because but if you're a one person law firm, you definitely need this kind of tool to become much more productive. And I agree. I love the name CoCounsel, and they also call that some Gen AI assistant. But I think they're a great example to a vertical AI system, because it's just does things for you and in a vertical in an industry. So I think it's a great example. Would you like to see more examples?
Yeah, I would. I think, yeah, let's get into some of them, because, and something just to point out about why this is interesting to me, especially with like law. I'm very intrigued to see how if this is sold well, like this is being sold well, how this is going to impact industries that have been slow to move on things like software. Like the law, I don't know if you're familiar, but the law space is like disorganized and old, like when it comes to tech. This is a thing. So they're going to get sold on this, I think, fairly easily, because it's like, oh, well, this like AI can come in and be the one that's good with software for me. I don't know. This is cool. So let's see some more examples.
Okay, let's see some more examples. So let me share my screen. Okay, so the next one is Outset AI. So what's interesting about this is like this AI agent kind of does the user research for you. And I think the video is going to explain things much better. So let's just watch a little bit.
Yeah.
I think this is really cool. Basically, what's happening is that, and I looked at, they actually also can find those who you want to interview. So basically,
No.
So we actually spend a lot of time interviewing customers at Chatform. We have like dedicated user researchers, and what makes them so valuable is that they're actually like having these Zoom calls with Jotform users, and they're asking all these questions. And what makes them so valuable is not like if we sent a list of questions or if we sent them a survey, we would get like very structured data. But the user researchers, they actually know what questions to ask. Like if they like discover something, they dig deeper to
Yeah.
kind of find out about like the blockers or like the potential like opportunities, things like that, and ideas. And they ask questions like, what else do you use? Like, what other software you use? And they try to understand their workflow and see how we can help them in other ways with Jotform, or how our product is like missing key pieces because we don't have something, and they're actually exporting their data and using some other software to accomplish things, and they discover those kind of things, and we can never find those things from like like from the support or like somewhere else, because it's just like a real conversation. And this AI agent is actually doing that. This is like a user researcher vertical AI agent. And let's watch a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I find, what I find interesting about this is actually originally when I was looking at it, I'll be honest, I thought it was like an HR interview software, which I was like, oh, is this how we're going to do screening calls now? But that is on the table too, I'm guessing, in with all these things. And when we were talking about these vertical AI agents, I think it's important to note that sure, there will be the horizontal like AI agents that exist, right? Like the big companies are going to come out with the obvious things. But this is where I think, companies are going to really thrive, and they're going to really have, massive growth and large opportunity, right? Like, what is a use case or a specific task that is valuable within a lot of companies? Or within a specific industry, I guess I should say. For you guys, your SaaS, literally just checking customer research on like what works for that. Or within what I was saying with like HR departments, imagine if someone were to come out with a vertical AI agent that was able to do those probing questions that happens with like initial screening calls to really like determine whether somebody is sufficient or has the capability to move on to a step that will need a person for interviewing. Because I'm sure you're familiar with it. I don't know what your hiring process is like at Jotform, but a lot of companies will do like a basic screening call, and it's essentially just to check whether they have basic industry knowledge, that they're a person, and that the resume they got wasn't complete nonsense.
Absolutely.
And compared,
Right.
yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
we do definitely do those like pre-screening calls, like a short call before the real interview,
exactly.
just to
Yeah.
make sure the candidate is like really fit for the position.
Hmm.
And they even have like these key questions, like they will ask like they have a list of questions they might ask about, like just to make sure that the candidate actually has the experience. Yeah, definitely. And I agree, the AI agent can do a really good job there. And then you can actually call more people. So sometimes like the what AI agent replaces is not like human being, but it replaces non-existing work, because you don't have the resources. You cannot do many things in business. Like you cannot provide 24/7 customer service, right? Like there are companies, but most companies cannot provide that. But with AI agents, like you can actually do that, because it's like it doesn't cost you anything to run 24/7 customer service. It's just it gets much cheaper. And now you're actually kind of adding things that are not available. And in this example, like many companies, they don't have resources. Like one of the questions, like I mentor a lot of startups, and one of the questions I ask, like, do you actually like, do you have someone, or you like interview customers? And if I had to do it in my company, I wouldn't have time anyways. But we have like user researchers who will like just do these things. But most of these small like startups, they don't have the resources to like just do like so many interviews. Maybe they will do a few interviews, but they don't have the resources to do it like continuously. But they are missing so much because of that. But with a software like this, they can just continuously keep doing these user researches, and they can actually do it in a much variety of reasons, like ways, like just not about like basics, but they can actually, if they're thinking about like adding a feature, they can ask the user research AI agent to to actually like find out if people will like this, and just do some interviews and find out, and then bring them. And I also like the part where actually the vertical AI agent is actually creating the report, and like emphasizing the most important, like the sentences, things like that. So it's actually creating this really nice report that you can actually learn from. So I think that's also really useful, and a great example.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, for me as somebody who provides services, even it's like, how could I implement like a mini AI agent that's like an interactive, like something more interactive like this than rather like a form, as to what necessarily they've thought about services recently, and it could send out to, recent customers so I can get some feedback and then, obviously implement on that feedback. I think these are the kind of little things that, I don't really, you don't think of until, a lot of these companies come forward, and then the ones that come forward first and thought of it first will probably be the ones reaping the benefits. But do you have any more examples?
Yeah, I got four more.
Awesome. All right, let's go. Let's go. That's interesting.
All
Yeah.
right, let's continue. Um, so the next one is, I will also show a video.
Interesting.
So did you understand what happened? So there was this phishing scammer that sent a text message, and then she was like just trying to like steal money from her, and then
Hmm.
their AI agent instant like so. I think one of the most important part of AI agent, like when you do have these business processes that are run by humans,
Yeah.
they're gonna be so slow. Like you're gonna catch it so late that it's not gonna even matter that you
Might already be too
caught it.
late. Yeah.
But the AI agent is instantly doing all these checks, and then instantly actually informed this customer that, are you sure you're not like being scammed? And then she suddenly got aware of the issue, and then she canceled whatever she was doing, and they prevented the scammer that way. So it's this feeds AI is this company that's actually doing like these AI agents are doing these AI based risk operations, and just constantly running these risk operations to catch like financial crime, and catch the scammers. And so I love the video. Like it's a real example, and so you can actually see what's going on. And yeah, I was very inspired by it. Yeah.
No, it's very valuable. I like that a lot. Let's get on to the next one.
We also have a video here. So this is a product called Agentic, and basically Agentic is basically these AI agents that actually play games. They can actually play, like,
What?
let's say if you're a game developer, you need tests.
Oh, okay.
You need to maybe check if it scales, if your product scales, if the game scales.
Sure.
Like you can have, like, you might have many reasons, but basically this AI just play games all day long.
That's
And the video
funny.
is really cool.
That's funny. I think it's very smart. That was a very smart product. There's so many people who I know when I was younger would have appreciated something like this when I played video games for all the bugs that came out upon release. And like even there's like server, I'm sure that'll even help with like testing server capabilities and stuff like that, like with like how many people can be on the servers and like stress testing it. That's very smart. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I mean, if you think about it, like if you're a serious gamer, maybe you're gonna like hand over to your game like to an AI agent to play it for you, like to gain more points or something.
Oh yeah. I can imagine someone using it for that. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm just I'm just kind of baffled that there's so many different use cases I wouldn't have even thought of. So, what else we got on the list?
Like another one I saw was this this platform that can actually that helps actually these retail stores, maybe e-commerce sites, to provide all these tools so that they can actually use AI to make their experience better. Like things like tagging their images, or like just maybe like put in these the clothes on the models, things like
Mm-hmm.
that. So basically, this is kind of helping the retail industry kind of build up their e-commerce sites. Maybe it's also it's helping people who are building these websites to do it much easily. And I thought that was also really cool.
Very cool.
Should I share another one?
Yeah.
Share.
Seems like I think you have like two more.
I think this is the last one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this one is kind of this in the healthcare sector, PathAI. This is actually this product that uses AI to kind of help with like the cancer, things like that.
Sure.
Basically, it's looking at the imagery, and then it actually discovers things for them. Like I don't really understand what's going on
Sure.
here. Like I don't have the domain knowledge, but it's basically using AI to discover things. Maybe like different types of cells are colored
Mm-hmm.
different ways so that
Mm-hmm.
the doctor looking at this can understand things better.
Sure.
Yeah, it's really cool that AI can be used in healthcare as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think something key to note here is while humans aren't, or well, AI might not be perfect, and obviously these are going to be developing models. For stuff like that, I'd imagine a decent amount of scan recognition when it comes to like a doctor looking at something might be just like pattern recognition as to what something would look like varied from like a normal thing. Like what's the difference between like a normal scan versus a not normal scan? And if the not normal scan looks like this, you might have XYZ thing, cancer, etc. I'm assuming that this can help with that because a lot of, there's a lot of like same thing with the law stuff. Like the medical field's also behind kind of on the tech and like the how fast are they with things. And I can imagine this could help as like a basic screen of like likely XYZ, please double check.
So basically, what the vertical AI agents do is they are able to scale and speed up things that humans do, and they're
Yes.
able to do them autonomously by themselves, and
Yes.
that's huge. So it's they are even better than human because they are faster than
Hmm.
humans, and they are also able to scale to large numbers, right? With customer support, like you have to hire each individual supporter. But with AI agents, like if you had like sudden increase in your customer service requests, people don't have to wait like hours to be able to talk to a real human being.
Exactly.
The AI solution can talk to like hundreds or thousands of people at the same time. It can scale, and I think that's going to be a big changer. It's going to just make things. So they are available 24/7. They are able to scale. They are much faster
Yep.
and they're much cheaper. So it's just gonna uh, it's gonna make everything much more easier for businesses.
Yep.
And as consumers, we are gonna get much better service. We are gonna have like instead of getting no customer service, like we will get this instant 24/7 customer service. So it's just really exciting.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of verticals that obviously we didn't even touch on in this episode. And, I'm interested to hear what a lot of people are thinking about the different vertical AI agents that could exist. So if you did like this episode, make sure to leave us a review and like on all of our various platforms and leave us a comment as to what you think might be the next vertical AI agent that changes an industry or multiple industries.
Yeah, it's so exciting. Like when we started this podcast, did you think like we would have like so many different ideas and different industries and different products that
No, so a lot of them were pretty. I was like, oh, that makes sense, but I wouldn't have thought of it. Like the gaming one threw me for a loop. I'm like, yeah, that would make sense. I wouldn't have expected somebody to put that together, but absolutely.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be really exciting, and yeah, we'll keep going, keep giving more examples to AI agents and more ideas to share, and we'll see you the next time.
Sounds great. See you in the next one. Bye bye.